We grew up with our parents, and our parents really trusted the medical system of like, if you're having an issue, you go to your doctor. Probably before the 70s and 80s, there was like a very holistic approach. Since the pharmaceuticals started stepping in, and like now it's just like, I can't believe like how many people I know in their like 30s and 40s who are on like blood pressure meds and thyroid meds. And like, wow, I had no idea how much people rely on these pharmaceuticals. So how do you step into this world while your foot's still kind of in the trusting the doctor that's giving you just medication and not really fixing the root problem?
This is such an important conversation because you're right. Our health has become so much more outsourced than really it's ever been before. And some of that feels sort of out of necessity because we have all these modern diseases and issues that we didn't know what to do with before. The sad reality is that most people don't start empowering themselves until they're in crisis, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't start seeking our own answers until we went to doctor after appointment after specialist and didn't find any answers. And so then it became necessary to start digging, or we were just going to be on this sick track forever. Mm. My hope is that not everyone has to get to that point, that you can start empowering yourself. So in terms of even looking for a practitioner, I think a great set of questions to consider is my practitioner asking me about my food? Is my practitioner taking time to actually sit with me and hear me out? And I think that if you don't feel fully supported, there could be somebody better out there. I also think a huge part of our healing has been, again, internal. I think a lot of the transformation that we've seen in myself, in my son, God bless practitioners. We have so many that are wonderful that we have worked with. And I also think they can't be there for the day in and day out. When I'm trying to figure out what is my son reacting to this time, or, why am I having this muscle pain or whatever it is, those day in, day out symptoms and occurrences, it becomes necessary to start digging for yourself or you're going to be stuck. I like to approach things from the standpoint of, firstly, what is consistent with human history, right? What's consistent with human biology? And then also, does this feel attainable? Does this feel like something that I am able to work into my daily routine? Does this feel like something that I'm ready to dive into and research? And so for a lot of people, that first step is food. It's figuring out, how do I nourish my family? How do I have, herbal support or homeopathic remedies for, this scenario or that scenario? And I think it really just takes that willingness and capacity to go, okay, I have the ability to dive into this a little bit. And once you do, it's life-changing. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you the last time we had to have like a sick visit or anything like that, because we have just gone full force into the empowerment side of having things that are at our disposals, that we're not always relying on practitioners, because sometimes we do have to rely on them. And thank the Lord for those resources when we do need. But to your point, Adam, it just feels like as a society, we have just handed over our health and wellness to the Western medicine model and have found it lacking. And so I think that's just a great conversation to just encourage people, hey, start taking it into your own hands, in a safe and educated way. There are things that you can do to support yourself and your family that I think will take you much further than the information that's often available to us from, a 15-minute office visit.